Hello there, second and eighth period algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and today we're going to be learning to factor something called perfect square trinomials. And I hinted at this with you in class, okay? Now, before we get down to it, before we do that, I need you to double distribute problem A and problem B here, okay? Go ahead and pause the video and do that. All right, here come my answers. I'm going to get 9x squared minus 30x plus 25. Yes, I am doing that in my head because I figured out a little trick for these, okay? If you're doing it the long way, that's perfectly fine, all right? For B, my answer is going to be 4x squared plus 20x plus 25, okay? Now, if you remember, if you were there, maybe you don't remember, it's okay, it's been a few days, but this term and this part of the term were both perfect squares. And that's true over here too, 4x squared and 25, right? What are their square roots? Well, let's see here. If their square roots are 3x and 5, and I multiply those together, I get 15x, and if I double that, look at that, I get 30x. It matches that B term, okay? Remember that. Let's see if it works on this one. Yeah, we're going to get a square root of 2x, square root of 5, multiplied together is 10x, doubled is 20x. Sure enough, it matches, okay? So I'm going to come down here to problem number 1, all right? And is this a perfect square? Well, yeah, and its square root is x. Is 36 a perfect square? Sure, 6. 6 times x is 6x, doubled is 12x. Watch this. Watch how fast I'll factor this. X minus 6, quantity squared. Or if you prefer, you could have done this. They mean the same thing. How can I do that so fast? Because it fits a pattern called a perfect square trinomial. 1, you want to have a trinomial. 2, the first and third terms must be perfect squares. 3, twice the product of the square roots must match the B term. Okay, so we've got 3 terms. First term and third term are perfect squares. Twice the product of the square roots. Well, there's the square roots. The product of the square roots is 6x. Twice that is 12, and sure enough, 12x right there. Okay, now you might look at number 2 here and say, well, 50 is not a perfect square. I can't do it. Au contraire, mon frère. There's a GCF hiding in here. What's the GCF of 50? X squared, 40x, and 8. Well, it's 2. I'm going to factor out the 2. I don't throw it away. It just gets pulled out. And now I'm going to have 25x squared. It's a perfect square. 40x plus 4. Oh, I've got a mistake there. That's not plus 40x. That's plus 20x, isn't it? I factored out a 2. Silly mistake, Mr. Lawrence. All right. So this was a perfect square. Is 4 a perfect square? Yep. What are the square roots? Well, this is going to be 5x. This is going to be 2. If I multiply those together, I get 10x. Doubled is 20x. This is a perfect square trinomial. Now, I can't lose the 2 out front. The 2's got to be there. If you want to do 2 quantities, that's fine. I'm going to do them as 1 quantity. I'm going to go 5x. I'm going to have a 2. By the way, if you haven't figured it out, this B sign is here. Yeah, B sign is there. Like in this one, B was negative. Look, it's a negative. And if you wrote it out as 2 quantities, it would look like this. You don't have to do both. Do the one that you're most comfortable with. Some kids are not comfortable. Ooh, Mr. Lawrence writing down the wrong answer. Some kids are not comfortable with the quantity of 5x plus 2 squared. That's fine. Then don't do that. Do this one, okay? But just be able to recognize that they are the same thing. Okay. Number 3, well, 27x cubed is definitely not a perfect square, but I'm suspecting there's a GCF in there. All right, so I think I'm going to try to pull a 3 out. I think a 3 and actually an x is going to work. So when I pull a 3x out, I'm going to get a 9x squared. Oh, 126 divided by 3 is going to be 42. Yeah, 42x. A 147, well, 3 is going to go into 14 4 times. 2, 27, that's going to be 9. Oh, look at that. I've got a perfect square, another perfect square. Square root would be 3x. Square root would be 7. Multiply together 21x. Double it. 42x. There we go. It's going to be 3x. That's the GCF. Don't throw it away. And 3x minus 7 quantity squared. And I am done. All right, one more example. This is how you factor a perfect square trinomial. Okay, I want you to do this one on your own. Pause the video. Look for a GCF. If the GCF is only 1, go ahead and do it by taking the square roots and all that good stuff. All right? Hopefully you've tried it already. Here we go. I'm going to factor it. It's going to be 8x minus 5 times 8x minus 5. Or if you prefer, quantity of 8x minus 5 squared. Now you can always check your answer. If I double distribute, I'm going to get 64x squared. Well, hot dog, I like that. I'm going to get a minus 40x. And then when I do this one, I'm going to get a minus 40x, right? And then when I do these two, I'm going to get a positive 25. And negative 40x makes negative 80x. Yeah, I did it correct. That was easy. All right, so we know a couple different types of factoring. Let's just review really quick here. We know we should always start with the GCF, right? Always factor by GCF first. It's the first thing we should do. And every problem has a GCF, just sometimes it's 1, and we don't usually worry about a 1. Okay? And then we know for a trinomial, we know how to do it when A is 1, right? A trinomial like this was Monday's lesson. Okay. And then now we know that with some trinomials, we have what's called the perfect square trinomial. Okay? Perfect square trinomial. There's going to be lots of different types of factoring we're going to learn. Those are the 3 we know so far. Don't worry, we're going to spend lots of time on this. I hope you ladies and gentlemen are staying safe. I miss you guys. A lot of fun we have. Hey, don't be afraid to ask me to do the Google Meet. I'll find time in my day, even outside my office hours. We can do it. We'll chat together live for a couple of minutes, and you'll get the help you need, okay? I did it with my honors class. And I don't know, we had maybe 7 or 8 kids on the Meet, and it was really helpful. It was just like being in class. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Mr. Lawrence signing off.